like Leonard Skinner and you like Peter Keys, well, then you're going to love this little shout out just for you.
Hey, Corona TV viewers, this is Peter Keys from Leonard Skinner. I want to wish you all a happy birthday to those of you celebrating at home. I don't play happy birthday, but I will tell you happy birthday. Happy birthday, y'all. All right, stay positive, stay connected. It's all good. We will get through this together. God bless.
I mean, he is such a good friend, and you know, I've been so lucky to have Macy Gray, and I mean, it's just amazing, all these celebrities coming out and sending happy birthday greetings to you guys. You've been waiting enough. Welcome to the show.
My goodness, Joe, thank you for having me on. What a pleasure it is to be back with you. It's been ages.
You have a claim to fame, which is you were blocked on Twitter by a certain famous person.
Yeah. The president blocked me July of 2018, I think it was. I harassed him enough. I gave him logical responses to his illogical statements, and he and Lou Dobbs, within days of each other, both blocked me. And I consider myself blessed as a result.
And you know, from what I remember, you're a Republican as well. So, you know,
I was a Republican for almost my entire career, and I decided to become independent. And if you look at my Twitter bio, I think it's still there, the hashtag integrity, or at least the word integrity is there, because I believe in doing what you say and saying what you do, and being true to your word, being ethical. You know, I mean, this is all part of what businesses need to understand in terms of authenticity and trust. It all circles back to the same kind of thing that we talked about years and years ago. Well, if you're a small business owner and you don't even have an online presence, you do business in your local community, what do people look for? They look for, eye contact. They look for a firm handshake, and your word is your bond, like the stuff we grew up with. And I know it sounds like rah American apple pie kind of stuff, but guess what? It's human nature. This is what we need to trust each other, and it translates the same way online. And to me, integrity is everything.
Well, I flipped the two articles. First of all, let's just do the elbow bump, because we can't do the handshake right now. Let me bring in one of these articles. And it was called "What We Look For from Leaders During a Time of Crisis."
To me, I love crisis opportunities. I've dealt with plenty of crisis communications. I've studied a lot of it. Some of my activities while I was at Ford have actually become crisis communications case studies in journalism schools, and I'm honored to do that. So I continue to study what's been done. I look at leaders like Ernest Shackleton, who wanted to be the first to traverse the South Pole of Antarctica through the South Pole. And his ship got trapped in ice, and it suddenly became a rescue mission to see if he could bring back his entire crew alive. Spoiler alert, he did, but the leadership lessons along the way were ones that I think stand with us still today. And as I was thinking about my topic that week, and every week my newsletter has a topic, I thought about leadership in crisis. And I saw a quote from Robert Ingersoll from 1883. "Nearly all men can stand adversity, but if you want to test a man's character, give him power." Right? And I think about the leaders in power today at the federal level, at the state level, and look what they've done. Look what they've done with their power in the face of adversity. That's how we can judge them. And of course, it's going to be a political decision. People will come down on either side as to how they think about the particular leaders and their response. But to me, it's really spelled out by Jocelyn Davis in a book that I've got called The Greats on Leadership, where she looked back over history and literature, which is exactly my thing. And she looked at things like courage and integrity and resilience, how you bounce back or how you actually maintain your composure during a time. She looked at generosity, right? Are you willing to give, like many of these brands have done with the COVID good tracking that I'm doing? And concern or empathy. Albert Schweitzer said the first step in the evolution of ethics is a sense of solidarity with other human beings. Are you helping people understand that you feel their pain? You know, we give Bill Clinton a lot of flack about saying, I feel your pain, but that was a really important part of his presidency when he expressed solidarity with other Americans by helping them to understand that he could at least grapple with what it is that they were going through.
If these are considered to be the proven best practices associated with leadership, we all need to look in the mirror and be able to say, how do we score as a father, as a husband, as a colleague, as a boss, as the president of the United States? You know, the emotions that I feel right now to our current leader, to our current great leader, is I feel sad. I feel bad. I feel pity. I feel a sense of remorse that we couldn't see that. And the difference is we need it. We need it so badly. We're desperate for it. And my feeling now is, in the absence of that, we have to be our own leaders.
That's right.
We have to.
That's all that's left. I mean, and to me, the role of the president of the United States in times of crisis, whether you're George W. Bush after 9/11, whether you are President Obama after I can't remember which hurricane it is, but their job is to unite people and make them feel like, don't worry, I've got this. You know, that there's somebody looking out for you. And yeah, it's kind of paternalistic and whatnot, but that's the role of a good leader, is to make people feel relief or confidence or like they're cared about.
There was another quote from that article that I wrote down, which is, anyone can steer the ship when the sea is calm.
The article you just pulled up, How Do You Want to Be Remembered, which I wrote back in February. And the topic that week was death. When Yeats died, he said, Earth, receive an honored guest. I would hope that when it's my time, that I am thought of as an honored guest, not as somebody whose reputation has to be repaired in death. And how do you become an honored guest? Well, it's by the decisions and actions that you make and take every single day. And what we were just talking about in terms of taking that step to be more generous, more empathetic, more caring leaders. These are the steps, and not just leaders, but, you know, with relationships in your life. These are the steps that we take every single day that will impact how we are remembered when it's our time to depart. And maybe not when it's our time to depart, maybe how we're remembered next week or next year. And I think those are steps we can all take right now.
You mentioned, I think it was someone that you know that just passed away, John Hayden. And you said you didn't know him that well, but his Twitter account was in perfect balance. Equal number of followers as were following him. Yeah. And I thought to myself, what will your last tweet, not just Scott's, but you guys listening right now, what will your last tweet read? What will be the last thing that you impart and share with this world? What will it be? My question to you is, how will you be remembered, or how would you like to be remembered?
Oh, wow. Well, look, Joe, we talked about a lot of things on this show, and part of it was regarding personal brands. And people have called me an expert, a guru, etc. I don't like those terms because I feel those are accolades that are, let me say it this way. I don't like applying those terms to myself, right? Those are accolades that are bestowed upon you by your peers. And so for me to say how I want to be remembered, I want to be remembered exactly the way people perceive me. And however that is, witty, obnoxious, annoying, endearing, people, again, like the political divide, people may have different opinions of me. And I would say the actions that I take every day, the content that I decide to share, the content that I decide to create, these are all the things that make up who I am and who it is that I think people should believe I am. And whatever that amounts to, that's what I hope it is.
Something to think about right now, which is, no matter who you are or where you are, we have these moments to connect with one another and to share and to be respectful, and to demonstrate those characteristics. The one thing, empathy it wasn't one of the characteristics, but it's there as one of the 5. But these are things that, as parents, you dream of, you fantasize for the moment to impart these morals, these beliefs, these values on your children. And you hope that they will pass it on as well. In the absence of leadership, we have to be the leaders. We have to step up. We have to show up. And we cannot look to the left or to the right or ahead or behind. We just have to look inside us. Yeah. And it's conversations like this that ground me and remind me that what we're all doing right now has meaning and value.